What you doing? I'm DAC, and this is Alcohol Anime. Woo! Coming back at you with a solo podcast again. Until other things eventually happen, and I either get more people or I move this Twitch again. But for now, it's just me again this time as I talk about the movie Bubble that came out on Netflix. There's actually a weird way it came out, but before I get into all of that, I'm going to talk about my usual first thing I talk about because it's the first thing in my name. I also say that usually every time, so I'm not that creative. I'm going to talk about the anime part of what I did with my drinking and watching Bubble. And it was kind of a weird thing I was wanting to do, but apparently that doesn't exist anymore. But before I ramble on, my original plan was to try to get bubbles, like alcoholic bubbles, like the kind you would like blow as a kid and what. And because I haven't seen, of course, I knew nothing about this film besides the trailer. I did get to watch the trailer first. I don't even remember if I read the description of the movie. Considering I can't even remember anything of what the description might have said. I watched the trailer. It looked cool. There was a lot of actual bubbles, and I was like, okay, well, these could be like soap bubbles. It could be like the kind of bubbles you blow. And I was like, is there a way to make those kind of bubbles alcoholic, kind of just float out? And I started doing a little research on this, and I actually found ways to do it, or I found like edible bubbles. I don't know if you can even eat enough bubbles, like floating in midair, that are enough to be bad for you. I'm sure if you drink whatever kind of bubble fluid, probably would not be good for you at all. But yeah, and there was something like you can mix your favorite alcohol into whatever kind of bubble mixture and then blow it out, and they would technically be alcohol bubbles. And I don't know if it actually worked or not because I could not find like them actually being sold anymore. Apparently, I don't know. They might have been a craze, a little fad, a little something back in like 2016. But then, well, things happened, I guess, and no more fun. And yeah, apparently there's just not being made to be sold anymore. Of course, there's still people trying to sell them. I guess they're super expensive. Would not have gotten here in time, anyways, for me to do that and watch the movie. Also, I don't know logistically how that would work for me drinking. I feel like you would not be able to actually drink the bubble. I feel like even if you did, you would get close to it, it'll pop. Maybe some of it will splash on your mouth, your face, just mostly in the air. It might have been waste. It might have been waste time. It would have been something cool and funny to do, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. I don't know. I still think that is cool, but yeah, there is no way I was going to be able to get that. I guess I could have tried just getting regular bubble mixture and mixing a little bit of alcohol in it. I don't just experiment with that. At least I guess. I guess I still could. I do still make my little skit thing or short or whatever I do for all these. And I'm kind of drawing a blank on anything clever to do. So maybe I could try that. I don't know. I've had other ideas. They're not good though. None of these were supposed to be good. They were just supposed to be something quick and dumb, and I now put too much work in. But anyways, alcoholic bubbles out of the question. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I need to think of some kind of bubble-related drink. I guess I could bubbly. I could have got champagne. Ooh, I should have got some champagne. You know, because that's like the bubbly, fizzy. That's what I don't know. I think I've heard people say that. Oh, I didn't even think about that until right now. But that's a lot better idea than whatever I was about to say and what I actually did. Okay, so my next idea was bubblegum. I was like, bubblegum flavored something, alcoholic bubblegum maybe. And I was kind of put that together. And a while ago, I don't know, a few years ago, whatever, I accidentally made a drink that tasted like bubblegum. And all it was melon liqueur and vodka. I thought it tasted so much like bubblegum. Had other people try it. They disagreed with me a little bit. So, but it tasted so much like bubblegum to me. They kind of said it tastes like Pepto. And I was like, well, that's not good because Pepto doesn't make me feel good. I don't like it. So that was disappointing. Anyways, I decided, hey, bubblegum, it's this drink I actually kind of thought of. I maybe should have checked to double check it wasn't already a thing. Anyways, it probably is. At this point, everyone must have made everything. But I decided that it was the best I could think of by the time I wanted to actually watch this, and I was like, I gotta have some kind of drink. It's half the name of the it's half the name of the podcast. I wish I would have thought of champagne now. Dang. So yeah, when I originally made it, I used Tito's vodka and Midori, and I was like, ooh, those are really expensive. I think I can use cheaper alternatives. So this time, I used Day Kuiper, Keeper, something, whatever, melon liqueur, and I've used this before. Back when I did. Wait, oh dang! When I used this and the chocolate liqueur, and then something else, was that How Pick Up Girls? Is it wrong that the Orion? Wow. Oh, I don't know. I think it was that. I think I used these and mixed them together in some kind of, yeah. I think Orion spell, Orion bell, or whatever it's supposed to be. With that, wherever that drink was, I forgot it already. But I definitely know I used this brand, and I liked it. And then I mixed it with some Pearl vodka because it was cheap and looked fine. Gluten free, American made. Apparently, I don't care about any of that. But it's also Pearl. It's like a percussion symbol, other stuff. Just a percussion brand that I was familiar with, and the logo for the Pearl vodka reminded me a lot of the drum Pearl logo. And I was like, oh, cool. This should be good because of this one simple dumb reason. And you know what? I don't know if it is or not. I mixed it. Wasn't quite thrilled with. It didn't taste exactly like bubblegum or whatever, like I originally thought. Maybe it's because it's the different brands. The brands apparently make it different. But I haven't tried the Pearl vodka by itself, so I don't know how it actually tastes. I do remember Tito's is actually pretty good. And then, of course, Midori is really good. It might have just been the brands was the perfect combination now, and vodka and melon liqueur by itself, in and of itself, I guess, isn't really that much of a great mix. But I tried it, and then I was like, okay, well, I need one more thing, just to, because it's kind of boring. It's just two things. I was like, I got it. I'm gonna go put some bubblegum in this. So I went to the store, and apparently that store had no bubblegum. I don't know what, like, there's parts up next to the register. There's packs of those, but those aren't really bubblegum. Those are just like, hey, your breath stinks, have a piece of gum, kind of gum. But I want a bubble gum, something you chew and blow bubbles, because the bubble, big part of this. It's important. So I did eventually find a big bag of double bubble. Not a huge fan of double bubble. It's like tough, and I wasn't crazy about it. And I could only find a bag bigger than I wanted, but I got it because I was like, I want to do this now. I don't want to go to another store because I'm lazy, even though I probably could have and found much better stuff. I want a Hubble Bubble. Hubble Bubble's a lot better. There's plenty of other bubble gums out there, I think. I can't even name another brand. Maybe there's not, but Hubble Bubble's still better. Got Double Bubble. Not great. It's a weird. I don't know. You get like 3 chews, and then it turns to like this tastes like rubber chemical, maybe bubblegum flavored. If I try to focus really hard on that part, so not great. However, completely unexpected. I was like, I'm going to put this piece in my drink, and while I drink it, or by the time I finish drinking it, maybe it'll soak up some of this alcohol and it'll be something. And surprisingly, it did not. However, it did get a lot softer, and that was better. And I felt like it kept more of its bubble gumness that it should have. I don't know. It was okay. It seemed better. Maybe it's because I was just drinking, and that made the bubblegum seem better. But yeah, it was okay. It was an experiment. That's something I want to try more of. And I don't know. I need to start making more original drinks. Uh, so this is a step in that direction. I talk about making more original drinks, but now that I think about it and just putting it all together to talk about what kind of drink would fit this movie, champagne wouldn't really fit. It's not the same kind of bubble. I wish I could have done the actual alcoholic bubbles, but I guess there's not really much I could do with that. It would be cool, but I can't sit and blow bubbles when watching a movie and pay attention enough to come and do a nearly hour-long podcast with it. So I don't know. It was the best I did. I did it okay. It was still a fine drink. The drink's fine. It's alcohol. Mm. Oh, that was the other reason I got the bubblegum. Is it was like hopefully the bubblegum flavor would mix into the drink. I don't remember if it even did. Probably not, considering the bubblegum also didn't taste like alcohol. So, I don't know. Experimentation is the best you can do. But yeah, bubbly. If you can make the champagne even more bubbly. What if I just got a drink and nothing but like the head or the foam of uh, champagne. You know what else? So like nitro beers, even though it's kind of the opposite direction, but they get really foamy and it's like the nitro. It's supposed to have smaller, tighter bubbles, so it kind of feels like it's opposite way, but it's still bubbles, right? Uh, yeah, they're also really good, but something bubbly. I could have also looked up drinks. I didn't even bother to look up like bubble related drinks or bubble flavored drinks. I'm sure there's also like bubblegum flavored liquors out there. It seems like a weird thing people would do. There's all kinds of other weird flavors. Why not bubblegum? I could have done that, but I need to expand more. Be more my own self. I still need to put together that anime alcohol book. Not a cookbook. Alcohol, just drink book, something like that. So I need to start doing that. And if I'm going to do that, then I need to start coming up with my own drinks. Otherwise, what's the point? You know. So that's why I'm drinking. Don't know, like I said before, I don't know what my little short is going to be. I don't even know if it's a spoiler because it's not even like actual idea I have yet. But I don't know. Do something more bubblegum. Be like alcohol bubblegum. Be dumb. My usual dumb self. I don't know. I'll still have a little time. I'll put that out the week after I put out this podcast, so I have a week to think of it. Hopefully it's something better by then. So if you're listening to this when it releases, you get to wait. If you listen to it sometime later, it's maybe out there. I don't know. I put it on my Instagram, YouTube. But yeah, that's the alcohol portion of this podcast. It's the best I did. I'm not ashamed of it, but I could do better. I could have tried harder. I just wanted to do something myself, and I thought it would taste like bubblegum. But yeah, no, moving on. That alcohol talk done. No more of that. It also probably doesn't help that I'm still drinking. I like talking about alcohol. That's why I made this podcast. So let's talk about the actual movie Bubble. Yeah, the next film. Not to be confused with another film called Bubble. That is also a Netflix film that also came out around the same time on Netflix. Weird that they did that. Don't know why. I don't know. But yeah, it's about an hour and 40 minutes, so it's not the shortest anime film. It's not also long either. But the weird part about its release, though, aside from the fact that there's a similar named movie also on Netflix, it came out or premiered, as far as the information I could find. Maybe there's more, but it appeared in Berlin first on February 10th, 2022. So this like a new movie. It came out this year. This year meaning 2022, depending on when you're listening to this. Then it came on Netflix. I guess the rest of the world, or I don't know exactly which parts of the world. It's on Netflix, or I watched it, so it's good. It came out on April 28th. And then it didn't have its actual theatrical release in Japan in May 13th. I don't know why. That's a weird thing for Japan to get this film last, unless it also came out somewhere else. And I just couldn't find that. Weird. Berlin? Okay, weird. Netflix, I guess, and then a theatrical release. May 13th. Why? So, okay, cool. I mean, I wish it would have gotten a theatrical release here too. Because, um, it's not the most amazing movie ever, anime film ever. But I feel like it does have that same kind of tone. It's on par with other films like Silent Voice, Weathering with You, especially a lot of Weathering You vibes. There's a lot of water related anime films, and even more coming out later, which I'm probably going to watch and do podcasts on. But yeah, I feel like it could have been a theatrical film, and it's even a little longer than some of the other films that have came out lately. And I feel like it's better. It's a pretty good film. It's fun to watch, but besides that, it's from Wit Studio. Plenty of other well-known titles from them. But my favorite part, and one of the parts that excited me the most, is the composer is Hiroyuki Sawano. He's pretty much one of my favorite composers, if not my favorite composer. And it's so weird. It took me a little while to really realize it was him. Uh, and the only reason I recognize it is from the drums. I'm primarily a percussionist, so maybe that's why. But yeah, I was just apparently maybe he just uses the same kind of drum style in the songs. And I'm sure the rest of the music has his similar kind of style to it. But yeah, the drums at some point in the movie, it was just like, wait a minute, this is so familiar. I looked up, it was him. So stoked for it. He just seems to be doing everything now. It's so cool. What other? There must have been other movies and stuff, or things I covered in this podcast with him in it. So cool. That was an exciting discovery because I suck at recognizing things. Even though I went to school for music, got a degree and everything, and I still am like I can't recognize music. But I always recognize his music. It's like I first found him in like Xenoblade Chronicles X. If you listen to me talk about him at any other point, you're probably going to hear all this again. But then recognized him in Premiere. I think he also did stuff in Attack on Titan, even though I'm not crazy about Attack on Titan, but he still did it. And there's so much, and it's so good. It's so cool. But yeah, that's the composer. That's just a little tidbit. I really wish it would have came to theaters. I feel like it coming to Netflix, yeah, I guess it's more available to people that way. But it gets kind of just swept under the rug, I feel like. Like, a theatrical release, you can get a lot more attention, kind of. And I feel like just putting it on Netflix is just like, here's another thing of all these other things that are coming out. But, I don't know, there's no telling how well it would have done in theaters. I feel like these newer standalone films maybe are not going to do as well anymore. Even though Your Name was great, I love Silent Voice, Weathering with You. They're great films, and people like them. But now you have even more films like the My Hero Academia, Sword Art, Mugen Train, and Demon Slayer came in and just completely wrecked everything. Jujutsu Kaisen. And now One Piece Red, which looks like it's gonna be awesome, it's like these series their movies are starting to get more attention now, which they're still good movies. But I still like these standalones, but they may have already had their time and have kind of passed by a bit. I don't know, but I feel like it really should have had a chance in theaters outside of Japan and other places. Here, I wish I could have went and saw it in a theater. I don't know where at. Wish I could have just saw it regardless. And make other people go see it. I like watching anime films in theaters. They're always, I don't know, they seem more exciting and whatever. I need to see when the next one in theaters is going to be. The only downside is when I see them in theaters, I can't get too drunk, and then I can't do an anime episode on it. So it coming out on Netflix kind of actually does benefit me more. And there's going to be even more coming to Netflix, which I'll be able to watch. All of them, I'm pretty sure, have to do with water. Weird that it's like that. I do like the theater, especially when I can go to a nice one and they have really nice seats. The ones I have to go to now are not that nice, but either way, still fine. Whatever. let's actually talk about what happens in this film. A little bit. More just a run through. I have more notes and I'll talk about at the end, just overall thoughts. But that's more just an introduction of where it came from. Why it came from anywhere. I don't know. But first off, talking about this film, the opening was dope. Oh, damn, it was so cool. There's always these films usually have a more typical theatrical opening to them, like you would see kind of any movie, really. This one had like a really cool opening that was just like any other anime episodes, which is cool, and I'm all for it. And it kind of just felt like it really gave me a feeling that I was about to just watch an episode of anime, not this movie. Of course, it did turn into a whole movie, but I probably should have looked up the name of the song. But whatever it was, pretty dope. I could go and look into it. But if you do not know what Bubble is about, now that I'm finally talking about it, it's like trying to do a description that would do this film justice. At some point, there's this big cataclysmic event in Tokyo that put a giant bubble over, I guess, a lot of the city. Tokyo is huge, so it didn't look like it was that big. But it started right over Tokyo Tower, I think that's called. I mean, it covered a decent amount of area, and it flooded the area. Everyone had to evacuate. But after that happened, a bunch of kids just came, kind of moved in. I guess once you didn't like the outside world, no one really seemed to stop them, or no one came after them. But there's some adults who do whatever, but it's mainly just run by a bunch of teenagers. Teenage boys too. There's only like one actual woman. There's only a few adults, and then there's only like one woman who's like some kind of scientist who has a name. Definitely has a name that I will remember in any second now. Makoto. She's like some kind of scientist studying whatever. But for some reason, it's cool. I like this idea, like this is what everyone is doing and this is what matters. And it's like you think of these words like Yu-Gi-Oh. Everyone's just playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Pokemon. Everyone's just doing Pokemon battles. And like in this bubble, everyone's just doing what they call Tokyo Battle Core, which is pretty much just parkour, capture the flag kind of stuff. They start. They have a destination they need to get to grab a flag, and they just parkour and do all kinds of stuff. And they have these giant bubbles that they can bounce off of, and these crumbling buildings, and flooded streets, and people who actually do come and save them if they need it. Which, of course, this being a movie, a lot of times they apparently do need it. So it's good. Mostly everyone's just watching everyone's back, even this kind of competitive, more just fun kind of parkour game. But they do stuff like bet supplies. Though I don't know where they're getting the supplies from now. Think about it. I guess somebody must be leaving the bubble to go get them. But you don't really see that. I don't think you see anyone actually leave the bubble and come back the entire time in the movie. Maybe these supplies are just scavenged from whatever's left over. It was a big area. I don't remember exactly how long it had been since this big bubble came into the area. But it mainly follows this kid, kind of teenager, named Hibiki. He's part of this team called Blue Blazers, but he's more just solo. He's just there. I don't know how they picked the teams. I don't know if there were already teams when they came there, or there's only like 4 of them, or they met up and they kind of just like pick teams on their own. I don't know how this works, but yeah, he's on a team, but he pretty much plays by himself. But he's like a genius parkour. However, he wears a lot of his headphones a lot of times, which I think is a cool look. It's something I would do all the time if I could, but that's mainly just so I could ignore people, and listen to music. But also, I like the big over the ear headphone look. His is because he has sensory overload, sound overload. It's auditory hypersensitivity, and it really doesn't cause him throughout the film any major problems, but it's more of an annoyance and just part of his character, part of his background. It was a bigger problem, but in this movie itself, nothing too problematic with that itself. But it does kind of open up that he hears some kind of voice singing, whatever, coming from Tokyo Tower. He's always curious about that. Um, oh look, I have notes. I'm all over. I'm gonna be all over the place. It shouldn't be. Uh, so the name of the mysterious explosion was called Bubble Fall. Simple. But yeah, so he hears this singing from Tokyo Tower. Apparently, that's where he was when this bubble fall happened, and he was like a survivor of that for some reason. But he goes, he tries to parkour his way up it again to try to figure out what the song is, what's going on, and he fails, which is kind of a big deal because there's these two vortexes, whirlpool kind of like things. One's called an antlion pick. It's like some pink vortex in the water. It's what everyone can watch out for. They can have to go save them a lot from it. It seems like when they fall in. But what seems even more sinister is something they call the spider web, which is like some kind of black vortex, which, if I remember correctly, kind of just appears out of nowhere or and anywhere within. I don't know what the rules are, but they just appear and they suck in stuff a lot, almost like a black hole, kind of. Maybe not that intense, but that's pretty much what it is. So that kind of happens while he's trying to transverse Tokyo Tower. He falls into the water, but then he's kind of saved by a girl who is uh, born from a bubble, and she's like part bubble, part Hibiki's breath, part modeled after some poster she's seen or it saw. I don't want to say she. Why not? And then a cat that it ran into at one point, and yeah, it's weird. And I was like, I don't know why bubbles have sentience in the first place. It was the only one in that it showed pretty much of all these other bubbles floating around. This one had sentience for some reason. Suspicious. But yeah, she saves him. They're eventually found. She's brought back with them. And before I forget, just going back to the fact she was also part cat because she acts like a cat. Uh, there are still animals, other animals that are just, I guess, thriving. They seem to be doing fine in this. But yeah, that's interesting. It is weird. It's like it's just this flooded area. It would almost seem like some weird nature thing just decided to take back what was it, take over the city, and then nature is just still doing its thing. There's just now weird bubbles floating around everywhere. But yeah, this girl goes back with Hibiki after being rescued. One, no one is weirded out as much as they should be that this girl from nowhere who doesn't really talk, who acts like a cat, doesn't seem to really know anything. Nobody's weirded out by that much. It's like I feel like everyone would be a lot more cautious, suspicious, just at least weirded out. Like, the fuck is going on here? Who is this? I don't know. Nobody cared though, and I thought that was weird. I was like, thought some kind of a lot more of a reaction would have happened, but nope. This is it. But then they name her Yuta, and I don't know if this is just cool, just such a clever name, or if it's just so lazy. It's one of those things like it's too good to actually be that clever. And it's like, okay, this just seems obvious. Yuta means song, and so it's obvious the song or whatever that Hibiki was hearing was Uta, and I could have sang or did something. I don't know. It's like it's only 8 notes, and it's nope, that's not it. I don't remember exactly how it goes. hmm. Maybe if I'm nice and I remember, I'll plug it in to the podcast right about here. I don't know if I did it or not, but there you go. Uh, it's just like 8 notes, and it's kind of nice. But after that, it really starts taking off, and you hear it all the time. drives me crazy because I was humming it so much, but now at the moment I need it, I can't remember it. What was it? Huh? Uh? I hope I remember to plug that in. But um, then ever since Uta shows up, she has a weird, not a weird. She just one she can read. That's weird. I don't know how she learns, or maybe she was looking at pictures. Maybe she was just looking at the book. Doesn't really know what's going on because I don't know. It's just a bubble. But it does take liking to the Little Mermaid and try and draw some like simile, metaphor, blah 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 comparisons to what's going on with the Little Mermaid. I don't know the original Little Mermaid tale. I'm sure whatever Disney did changed a lot. And I'm sure whatever really happened was a lot darker. I don't remember. Another thing I probably could have looked up real quick, but I don't know. I would rather read the story. But I'm just going to assume wherever they say and allude to about the Little Mermaid in this film, I'm sure it's right. Why not? I'm sure whoever was fascinated with the Little Mermaid enough to put it into this film, at least looked up wherever the Little Mermaid story was. I don't know. But that's going on. Hibiki's group, who also lives on a ship, big ship, which makes sense. Don't know how it got into Tokyo. Somebody must have drove it there and abandoned it. But they're getting closer. She's kind of weird. Eventually, though, we find out Hibiki has a secret garden. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I like gardens, plants, flowers, all that stuff. I have a little one. I would be even cooler if I could have a secret one. But Uta eventually follows him there. They have a nice moment. She finds a seashell that he had. I wrote a little note here called Spiral, parentheses, Uzu. I'm assuming that's referring to the shell. It could also have to do with like those vortex, whatever they're going to be. I don't know. Yeah, or maybe just overall, there's a lot of spiralness in this film. I should have wrote more notes as to why I put that, because I don't even remember. Because this was a small moment, but it was kind of an important moment. Because the show becomes like I don't know, important part of their connection or whatever after that point. Even does the whole like, if you put it up to the ear, you can hear the ocean, which I need to look into the science of that. Somebody must have done the science as to why that seems like a thing. I don't know, it's kind of cool and whatever. But that was nice. Hibiki tells his story, which I guess was him having his auditory hypersensitivity, not having the best childhood because of it. Eventually, gets sent or whatever to some group that's in Tokyo Tower, and then that's the explosion. And then, before the explosion was about to happen, there was he looked a lot younger. So maybe this must have been years since the bubble fall happened. But it's like he heard a bubble, and the bubble came up to him, and I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll get to it. The bubble turns out, I guess, was Uta, and it saves him from the explosion, and that's why he was the one that survived, and that's why he was kind of obsessed with the song and all that. And then they go and have a nice parkour moment with Uta. The two of them just go, do whatever, run around. And it's so exciting. Especially, this is, I think, where it really took off for me because just so much cool. I like parkour. The idea of it just running around. I used to live like in the woods and just running through the woods. Not swinging from trees like Tarzan, but like really just grabbing on trees and branches and stuff, using that for momentum and balance. Stuff like that is just really cool. I always wanted to do parkour more when I got in the city. I never did. Also, if you ever see me, definitely don't look like the person you could. I can, but it just looks so much fun. And like leading up to this, or watching this film, I know I was talking with people about parkour and how I like that a lot more than just running, like on a just street on a sidewalk or on a track. A lot more exciting than that. That seems boring to me. I try to run on a treadmill. That's still boring, but at least I can like watch something or listen to music or nah, no, it's easier. If I'm going to go outside, I'm going to take my time, really observe. That's what I like to. I like to take walks, observe whatever's going on around me, especially in nature. But if I was to ever run again, I want to find like a trail or something in the woods or whatever. Uh, Something like that. Maybe a hiking trail and just run that. Who knows? I'll find something like that. But parkour just seems so cool. Now, it's something I always want to do. I have a lot of dreams of like parkouring too, and it's so cool being able to do that. Just like climbing up stuff, running across things, jumping, all that kind of cool stuff. But my dreams are mean to me. So anytime, once there's a moment in the dream, I realize it's a dream and I can do all that stuff, I can't do that stuff anymore. So yeah, that was what was going on leading up to this movie. Then I saw the movie and I was like, oh, this is so cool. It's so exciting. And it's just simple. You know, it's parkour stuff. It's simple, but it's in this cool world where there's like bubbles and like just floating things. Kind of buildings are kind of not great and all whatever. And then the niceness has to stop at least a little bit. We need at least a little drama, right? So there's another group called the Undertakers. They're just some weird team with tech. I thought they were maybe some kind of outside group that was trying to come in and use this parkour to some kind of sinister plot somehow. But no, they're still just a regular team in there. They're just weird about it. And they, for some reason, kidnap Makoto, the female scientist, and use her as bait to challenge Blue Blazers, I guess. They use all their tech, it's like stuff to help give them more jump and whatever, and they beat other teams. That's one of the things I meant to do for alcohol is to. There like the four other teams. I don't even remember. There's like not Red Lobsters, something Ninja too. I don't remember the names, but yeah, I meant to make a drink for each team. I forgot about that. Uh, yeah, they're mainly based on colors. It'll be something cool. Maybe that's something that I'll remember when I actually make the book. So you can look out for that. But yeah, they use that to challenge Blue Blazers, the BB team, to come save her. And if they don't, they'll also lose their ship, the Rayo, which I guess is what it's called. But of course they win because mainly thanks a lot to Uta, and I mean of course Hibiki too. But yeah, they put a lot of trust in Uta. Uh, but yeah, that's just kind of a story that always happens. Technology always kind of loses. Well, it doesn't always lose. It didn't. It still beat Paul Bunyan in those little tales, if you know who that is. But yeah, of course the good team, the main team, is going to win. But yeah, and then I guess whenever things are starting to get serious, they saved Makoto. Apparently, according to what I wrote down, because I don't even remember this. Oh, dang, a lot kind of happens in this movie for such a simple concept. But apparently, Hibiki's cock blocked by a second bubble fault. You see some of Uta's memories as a bubble, and she has to go back to the tower. This is where it kind of alludes a lot more to like the Little Mermaid. Apparently, the sister in the Little Mermaid was possessive. Didn't like the fact that the Little Mermaid or that sister was wanting to go up on land and was doing whatever to get her back. And that's kind of what's happening here. Apparently, there's a bigger sister bubble that wants Uta to come back and is making things go bad. So she ends up having to go, and then of course they're going. Hibiki has to go save her, and there's a nice moment of like Hibiki's going to go, and then the rest of the Blue Blazers decide they have to go save her too. And I was like, oh, this would be a cool moment if all the teams chipped in together because there's a big storm. The Blue Blazers already saved them, and they're all on the ship. But they don't. They don't join in. The Undertakers sell their tech to them so they can get there better. But yeah, it'd been cool to see all the teams join the rescue. The only one who does, someone who I completely forgot to mention this whole time. There's a guy who's kind of like the de facto leader. They never really say he's the leader, but he's like one of the old timers, adult, who used to also do a lot of this parkour stuff. But then assume while challenging the Tokyo Tower or whatever. He like lost his leg or something. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm not making that up. But yeah, he eventually joins in with them too. Way later on. I don't even think he had the tech. He somehow like catches up to him so easy out of nowhere. While they're almost there, when everything's starting to get the worst, and only Hibiki's really left, and then Shin shows up to help him out. He pretty much like break dances his way like up this weird tower and to help Hibiki, but uh, he eventually what did I put here? He limps but smack debris prosthetic. Don't know what that's supposed to mean. Anyways, his prosthetic fails on him even after all his breakdancing, but he is able to do it. And then once Hibiki gets inside another bubble within a bubble that contains the other bubble, I guess he's trying to get to, everything calms down. Ooh. And then Hibiki enters his memories, kind of. And this is where it explains kind of what happened. There was an explosion that was caused by jealous bubbles, because I was jealous that the Uta bubble, I guess that's what I'm assuming, it was took a liking to Hibiki, and it caused the explosion. And it also turns out all these bubbles, alien bubbles that come from out of space, from nowhere. That's kind of wish they wouldn't have done that. Just let the bubbles' origins be a mystery. Because what's going on here? What are they really doing? It's kind of weird. They make a lot of like space stuff. This is no, I was going to say it for later, but there's a lot of connection to like galaxies and universes and the Big Bang, which I guess is supposed to be similar to a bubble fall, and it's completely kind of different. But yep, there are alien bubbles. Okay, I don't even know how to explain that. I don't know how anyone can explain it. It's just something you like. This is what they're doing. Cool. Yep. Let's go with it. Alien bubbles, and not only that, a jealous alien bubble. Okay. Cool. Anyways, Uta saves Hibiki again, just for him to run away with her to save her again. There's a lot of saving back and forth, which is good, teamwork and stuff. But yeah. Oh, one of the things I forgot to say, because it's important now. Uta can't touch Hibiki, or maybe not anyone either, or she like, that part she uses to touch him turns into bubbles. And there's a part where she helps him, and like her arm turns back into bubbles, but she wears gloves. And it seems, I'll assume it helps. It should help, theoretically. But then she doesn't even use that hand. Use the glove hand. Don't. Anyways, so eventually she does turn back into a bubble after saving him one more time, but he still can hear her. But after all that, kind of just a still kind of a melancholy ending, I guess. I don't know. It didn't feel rushed, but it was like it did just feel like it ended. Maybe I'm not completely remembering it right, but yeah, it was just like, I mean, it was like a goodbye and all that, but it still was just like, and you're done. You did it. Good job. There you go. It's like, okay. But after that, the bubbles mostly disappear. They disperse, go somewhere. I guess back to space, back to being alien bubbles. I don't know. That part's still weird. Some still remain for some reason. I don't know what they're doing. I guess those are still sentient, or maybe they're just like leftovers. I don't know. I don't know what the bubbles are actually doing. The whole alien thing is so bizarre. But whatever. It's anime. What are you going to do? But yeah, reconstruction on the area starts, but battlecore still continues. For now, I would assume they would not like them to keep doing it once people move back into the area, because people are no fun. Maybe I should get back into parkour. There's not really any kind of parkour-esque areas that I could do. Well, no, maybe. When I was doing my undergrad, I was pretty sure I saw people parkouring, but it's still not that much. It's like tiny walls and stuff. And like, I don't want to go back to the campus. I don't really want to run around town or go to a larger town and run around that. It's because it's not. I don't know. I do miss that kind of stuff, but I really miss the woods. That was fun. I don't know. I grew up in nature, so city stuff is still weird. I just need a bigger city. I miss Hawaii and Honolulu. Maybe I could have done it there. Find an area to just run around in. But I never saw anyone doing it there either. It's a different kind of city. As big as it is, it's not as close. I want to jump from buildings. That's what I want to do. I've climbed balconies before. Climbed over to different balconies in hotels and stuff when those are close enough. And I guess that's the closest I've gotten to doing stuff like that. The one time I tried to be cool and I tried to jump a rail, but didn't realize there was a drop behind it, and I fell like, I'm probably exaggerating, but I feel like at least 6 feet, like 6 to 10 feet from the top of the rail down to the ground. I feel like it was like 10 to 9 feet. It was maybe from like the bottom of the rail to the ground was maybe 6 feet, but it might have been even less than that. I don't remember. I just remember I was like, rail, I'm going to jump it. I jumped it. Ooh, I was wearing flip flops too, flat on my feet, and I have really flat feet, and that hurt. One of the worst pains I've ever felt. Uh, but I did that. That's about the coolest thing I almost did. I need to learn how to like somersault or just like roll after big tall jumps. I've seen people in real life even do that from really high things. I don't. Now they're also much smaller than me. I'm a pretty big dude. It's hard to imagine someone my size being able to do that. But I could work on it. Parkour just looks so fun. Battlecore. Uh, I don't know if there's a real difference, but it looks so cool. And this movie, that was just how exciting it was just to see him run and like getting excited and all the cool stuff like that. So cool. Um, One more thing I just really liked about this is it had terrific sound design and choreography. Um, I don't even know if sound choreography is a real thing people use. I use that term. The design is how it's going to sound, and then like the choreography is where it's going to sound. That's at least what I think and what I mean by it. And it's just like how sound matches up with the action, and like it's more like a dance. It's like this is happening and the sound is happening, and it's so cool because like I said, there's a lot of running. There's a lot of water noises. There was a subtle, just like such a subtle drip, and it sounded um, like almost like a sink was clogged, or there's like some kind of little suction, water suction sound. And I swore I just kept hearing it like in my house. Because when I watch this, I wear headphones, so I can hear. I get a lot of these subtle noises, and I kept like having to take my headphones off because I thought I was just like hearing like for some reason maybe there was something stuck in my sink, one of my sinks in my bathroom or kitchen sink or something. And I was for some reason able to hear it, and it was driving me crazy until I realized no, it's just there's all these very subtle sounds, and that's why I think the design is just so cool. There's so many, and like it's the small things that really make stuff like this key to what is going on and what happens in it. That's the best part. And that's why I really like wearing headphones now, which, especially with Hibiki having this like audio hypersensitivity, wearing his headphones, like it's kind of a perfect thing to do, as it really makes it worth wearing headphones so you can hear all these little things. I wonder if they did it on purpose. It's an interesting thing. I wonder if they would have actually figured out like um, people like if thought about it, it's like, hey, if we'll make people wear headphones and then they will hear all these other things that people normally wouldn't be able to hear anyways. And of course, in a theater, with how that works, you wouldn't be able to hear stuff like this most likely. Um, and so yeah, it's just really cool. Details, so cool. But let's see. I'm sure there are plenty of other things was going on in this. Um, Apparently, there was a manga adaptation by Erubo Hijihara, serialized in Shonen Jump Plus, from April 22nd to May 23rd, 2022, which is before it came out on Netflix, and then after it came out in Japan. I don't know. It's so weird uh, things they do with it. I don't know, but it's still cool anyways. I still feel like um, it could have been in theaters. That would have been cool. Let's see. Oh, okay. So the other teams, there was Blue Blazers, Denki Ninja, I guess. I think, or is that a character? There's some kind of ninja, and then Mad Lobster. I don't know if those are people or the teams. Uh, but yeah. I guess that's about it, though. It's just really cool stuff. The space stuff, it kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. But how else, I guess, are you going to um, explain alien bubbles? Wow, the track list for this is pretty dope. I wish I could see what the actual opening was. I could probably find it. Opening theme song is Bubble. Bubble featuring Uta. Performed by Eve, while the ending theme song is Ja Ne Matane. Matane. Uh, huh. Okay, so yeah, I guess it's the original one. Who voices Uta in the film? Ah, performed by Riria and voices Uta. Nice. Okay. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. I would recommend it. Definitely, I would definitely recommend it. It's a good little film to watch, especially if you like bubbles, parkour. Just not. It's not like super action, but it is a neat little exciting thing to watch. Don't confuse it for the other bubble that's on Netflix, which I still don't, I don't care. I'm not going to look into it. Just anime film and all that stuff. But yeah, that's it. Music's dope, of course. There's a lot more music to it. Oh, I wonder if nah. Look up the music too. The song, the little 8-note song, it's catchy, even though I forgot it already. And they use it a lot. Just different variations, either her Uta singing it or humming it or whatever, and then like other actual songs overall. A lot of cool stuff. But yep, watch it. Give these Netflix anime films a chance. A lot of them are good. They're just nice watches, even if they're not the most like overly hyped. Definitely not hyped enough, or they're not like the most overly crazy kind of films. They're still good. And Netflix is getting a lot of them, so keep your eye on them. I don't know why they're not coming more to theaters, but hey, this theoretically gives it a chance for more people. They could still put it in theaters and then put it on Netflix. That would be cool. But then again, like I said earlier, if they did that, it would be harder to do the drinking and animating part of this podcast together. But, yep, I guess I'll leave it out. Most of this is just going to be me rambling. Really good. Space is weird. Parkour's cool. Bubbles. Bubbles. Wish I would have had alcoholic bubbles. Need to think of more alcoholic drinks. Still need to figure out what my short's going to be. And all that fun stuff. But, yep. That is it. Yeah. Of course, you can go and listen to more of my other episodes of Alcohol Anime. Plenty of other stuff. I'm going to be watching and drinking to a lot of different anime films. Maybe some other little stuff. We'll see what goes on with that. But yeah, if you want to keep up more with me, of course, I guess you must have found this on whatever podcast platform you're listening to it on. I also have a YouTube. It's just also the AC Stories. You can follow me on social medias as well. Also, the AC Stories on everything. Instagram's a little different because that's it's the _AC_stories for now. I also have a website. You can find all this stuff, I'm sure, in the description. I'm pretty sure I'm putting it all there. But yeah, you can find me. It's pretty easy to find me. And then you can I don't know, email me. Ooh, do I got any questions? What's a better bubble themed drink? Also, if you've had alcoholic bubbles, does it taste like alcohol? Is it even worth it? I don't know. Plenty of questions. Maybe I should give it a try. Just go buy some little bottle of bubble mix. Put some of this vodka in it. I don't know if I'm actually going to drink all this vodka. I mean, I'm definitely going to drink all this vodka, but I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy it. So I might as well put it in some bubble mix and poison myself accidentally. I don't know. I don't know if saying it or admitting it on a podcast is an accident anymore. I'm not going to poison myself. I know that. But yeah, all that stuff. But tell people about this. Hey, do you know people who like to drink? Do you know people who like anime? You like people who like both of them, like me, like maybe you too, which is why you're probably listening. Tell them about it. Share this. Let's spread this. It's supposed to be a every other week kind of podcast. Let them know that. That's the other thing. It's not too overbearing. It gives me a chance to find more stuff. Maybe go back and watch older stuff. I do like watching older stuff. There's plenty of older stuff I'll watch and drink too. Plenty of drinks going to be made. Hopefully one day I'll get that alcohol book out. But yeah, tell people about it. If you're on a platform that does likes or favorites, I don't know, whatever platform you listen to on, if you can leave comments, go ahead and do that. Review, that's always great. Subscribe, if that's a thing you can do. There's so many platforms out now, and I'm on so many, and it's great. But yeah, do all that cool stuff. You know the drill. Everyone says it. I'm no different. I'm saying it too, because it's always a good reminder, especially if you made it this far. You must have liked it enough. But yeah, but that's it. That's Bubble. That's Bubble. That's my bubblegum drink. That's the Bubble anime film on Netflix. I talked a whole lot. There's actually more. I didn't get too crazy into details. There's plenty more in this film that I actually didn't say or didn't get too into. So, you know, even if you haven't watched it yet, you can go back and watch it. But yeah, that's going to be it. So, until next time, thank you so much for listening. I am the AC. This has been Alcohol Anime, and bye.